Welcome back, everyone, to Pontus Fathom Hobbies. This is episode 3 of Tabletop Miniatures Makeovers, and today we are going to look at our Unsullied Swordmasters and our Targaryen Heroes 1 set. These are minis that I had painted originally. As you guys know on the channel, I like to play all of my minis painted, but sometimes my rush to get them on the tabletop is pretty poor indeed. And I think no minis will better show this than the barely painted status of our Unsullied Swordmasters. So I felt like they really deserved an upgrade. I also brought out our Targaryen Heroes. I think maybe one of the worst minis I've ever played on the board was Jorah of Mormont. You'll kind of see these here. We'll go through them one by one. Right here you've got strong Belwas, looking barely painted. Although there is some kind of cool effect. I did do spray for flesh on these, so there is a kind of neat effect to him. Here you have Sir Barristan Selmy. Again, I'm going to turn him into a white cloak. This is just, I don't know what I was doing here. But yeah, just kind of hit him with some paint. They look pretty bad. Next up here, we've got, this is Piat Pri. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Zaro Zohan Doxos. Zaro Zohan Doxos. And then we have Jorah of Mormont. Look at this. It's kind of like a smudge. If you could smudge paint, this is what you have for the painting, right? I did throw paint on him, got him his Grey Worm. Grey Worm not looking very majestic. Although I kind of do like the patina of the armor that came out of, I don't know how I got this there. You guys can go back and watch the original paint throughs of both of these. They were speed paints, so I just kind of batch painted them up and got them on the table. Finally here you've got, this is Priat Pri, like I mentioned before. And then we can look at our Unsullied Swordmasters as well. Unsullied Swordmasters, you got a couple different versions of these, but you can see that, again, I kind of like the patina that comes across on these, but you know, they're not well painted. There should be a lot more flesh showing through, so I'm going to hit these up with some more flesh. I'm going to decide on a color for their the tunics that they're going to wear. I may leave the shields and the helmets just the way they are, because I do kind of like the weathered effect of them. And that just kind of came about organically, however I painted those before. We've got the bannerman here. We've got an officer. So, yeah, and obviously Grey Worm, he's in the Targaryen Heroes 1 set, but we'll get him painted up similar to these Unsullied Swordmasters. So that'll be another thing to sync up. Yeah, but these, yeah, I like that patina, but that's about it. That's about all there is to say about these. So we're going to get some much needed details back into these miniatures. Yeah, so we'll get these. I'll get these painted. I will go through the paint through with you. Finally, we'll end up at the end with the hero shots of the revised miniatures. As you guys know, we've got 2 other versions of this. We've done Conan by Monolith, Tabletop Miniatures Makeover, and we did Cthulhu Wars Tabletop Miniatures Makeover. So go check those out as well. And as usual, if you guys like what we're doing here, like and subscribe. You can ring the bell to get notified when we do more of these tabletop miniature videos. And let's get into the painting. So first off, just flying over these, taking a look at these. I'm going to start out with adding some flesh tones back to them. I know that a lot of the Unsullied Swordmasters, actually you can see their legs and arms exposed, some of their sides of their bodies. So I'll get working on those first. And also I'm going to get the first coat of white on Sir Barristan Selmy. I'm going to turn him into a white cloak there, and then make him a King's Guard again. I think that'd be a cool look for him. I got some reference research on these, so yeah. I think it's always good to pick your palette and check out some reference images, which I obviously didn't do the first round. So let's get to it, fix these up. So there's our first initial flyover. Got some flesh thrown on these. You can see Selmy is in white there, and Unsullied Swordmaster is getting a little bit more detailed. By this time, I've pretty much gotten paint on every miniature. I've gone ahead and done a couple coats on Selmy. I'll probably do one more coat on him, and then I'm going to start going into the metallics, touching up on the armor, getting the swords sharper. I've got a Tamaya chrome paint that I'm going to use for those. And then also starting to do some of the Targaryen heroes, like Jorah Mormont as well, Strong Belwas, and starting into Grey Worm. You see the Unsullied Swordmasters are looking a lot better. Just going through some of these bannermen. I've got the cloaks as a kind of a metallic blue color, kind of going with the box art or with the card art. You can see Grey Worm's looking good. One thing I like about doing this miniature makeover is, you do that batch coat. I think what I'm really learning about is the difference between a base coat and an actual true painting through this series. What I usually stop on is a base coat and a wash. And I think when you look at some of it, as long as you get a color palette down, I'm not a detail guy, so as I always say, so I think this is a great way to revisit your miniatures. And also it's another thing that's cool about it too is go ahead and paint your miniatures. If you're new, you don't have to be worried about making a mistake. See, these are all kind of these initial painting, they didn't come out great, but once you go back and put in some new attention to them, start having a plan on how you're going to paint, really focus in on some of the features of the models. I mean, look at this Sir Barristan Selmy is looking really cool now, right? This is really looking amazing. So you guys can do the same thing. So yeah, looking forward to getting these through. Going to continue on now through the rest of the Unsullied Swordmasters. I'm going to go through the leather straps, some various components that are on their armor. And so one of the miniatures that came out extra bad that I had called out actually in our gameplay was Jorah Mormont. He looks pretty cool now. Grey Worm is looking a lot better. Even Selmy here looking cool. I will take you guys out to the hero shop. Before we do, quick shout out to this channel's sponsor, Portos Vellum Press. We've got Alchemy and Anthroposophy in the Dune saga. Frank Herbert's Dune has got new popularity with the movies released. But really, what is it that makes people so interested in Dune? A lot of it has to do with Frank Herbert's influences in Jungian alchemy. And I even go so far as to call out the anthroposophical roots of some of the topics. And even things like Samuel Butler's work that lends itself to the Butlerian Jihad and even other memory and think about the Beni Tlaiblack. So this is a really cool book to pick up. You can actually go to our podcast channel as well, where you can hear podcasts from that book if you want to check it out. Check out the bookstore link below also to get the Cat 2 Journals out of Lovecraft's Providence, collecting all 6 volumes of August Moldenhauer and Giuseppe Balsamo's works like Genealogy of Cthulhu, Psychoanalysis of R'lyeh, Hermeticism of Hastur, and Necromancy of Nyarlathotep, among others. Check this one out. And then finally, our What is Going On with the Rise of Artificial Intelligence. Check out the Artificial Psychoanalysis of Desiring Machines. It's a link to the rise of artificial intelligence and also human automation, collecting the 3-volume set, also by August Moldenhauer. Some of this deep dives into things like the Butlerian Jihad, so it's interesting for fans. Go check it out. And let's take you guys out with the hero shots. That's about it for this episode of Tabletop Miniatures Makeover. Hope you liked it. We got the Unsullied Swordmasters and Targaryen heroes looking a little better. Take you out with the hero shots here. And as usual, we've got a Patreon. If you'd like to support what we're doing here, you can go check us out for as little as $1. Liking and subscribing. Leave a comment below. Tell us what you'd like to see us repaint if you've seen some of our old videos. And here comes the hero shots.